Peace and love, family, and welcome back to another Sunday Hope and Healing session. Uh, this is acting goofy. Anyway, I'm Royce Fletcher Thomason, and all cool points are just going out the door for this morning or this afternoon. But we are here at 1 o'clock Eastern, as we are every Sunday, at least for the time being, to bring encouragement, to bring hope, and to bring actual healing. Healing that is really designed to address each and every aspect of your beingness, the beingness of any and everyone. And I really hope that you can hear me clearly. We're broadcasting from a different location today. We're broadcasting in Brooklyn, New York. You can see beautiful Prospect Park behind me. I'm broadcasting from the rooftop of the Parkline building in Brooklyn, New York. And hopefully you can hear me relatively well. I've got a new mic, but I have every reason to believe that it's not actually communicating with StreamYard. So be it. Anyway, we're here to bring you, I'm bringing you the best that I got with what I have available in this moment. And with hopes that you can hear me at least reasonably well. And even if you can't hear me, there's going to be some healing that's going to take place that is, you know, beyond that surpasses whatever it is that I might be saying out loud with my words. The healing that's going to happen. We utilize a methodology referred to as transcending the matrix to bring about and manifest in people's lives, and it's a holistic approach to healing that really does address every aspect of a person's life. One of the things that's beautiful about it is that you don't have to be physically present with me. I don't have to physically touch you. You could be on another part of the world, and this can still work on your behalf. You can even catch it on a playback, and it can still work to bring about healing, physical healing in your body, as well as healing in different areas of your life. And so each week, I don't always know what it is that I'll be addressing for the Sunday Hope and Healing sessions. I'm always praying about it, always meditating on it. And I ask, what is it that the people are needing? What is it that I'm needing to convey? What is it that I'm needing to get across? What is it that, God, that you're wanting me to um, bring forth into the lives of the people for their betterment? And it sometimes takes a while to get that. And there was something that actually helped to bring that across today. And that's something that someone presented to me in terms of a form of lupus that this person is dealing with or has been dealing with. And it brought up some things that we'll be addressing today in terms of today's Sunday Hope and Healing session. So our focus won't be on the talking today. The focus will be on the healing. And the focus of the healing for today is healing the ways that your body and your mind betray you, or betray your highest and best good, or betray your best interest. Okay? By the way, I'm aware that people may be commenting. If you are commenting, please continue to do so. Because I'm broadcasting from my phone and I have it in the position that I have it in, where it's the horizontal position or the landscape position, I'm not able to actually see what the comments are at this time, but I do encourage you to actually still post your comments if you have them. Okay? And so in terms of lupus, and if you know somebody who's dealing with lupus or any type of autoimmune disorder, please share this with them. Please share it with them via Facebook or via YouTube, or via sharing a YouTube link in a text, um, so that they can have access to this and benefit from this healing. So what happens with really any type of autoimmune disorder is that the immune system, which is our body's defense mechanism, isn't operating properly, and frequently will find itself in situations where, rather than attacking those things which are harmful to the body, it actually attacks the things that there's no need to attack. There's no need to go after like it's a harmful agent. These bodies are so wonderfully and magnificently designed such that if there's something that comes into your body temple that your body recognizes as not there to contribute to its highest and best good, the system in your body referred to as the immune system, 3/4 of which is in your gut actually, will then go out and attack that which is seen as a threat to your body temple. Okay. But there are situations such as lupus and other autoimmune disorders where the body will attack itself rather than attack some harmful agent. And how, whether we have that particular physical condition or not, how do we end up finding ourselves where either our body is betraying us or we're having a situation where our mind is operating in such a way that we aren't actually accurately able to diagnose within our own life and life experiences what is for our good and what is for our bad, or we'll chase away what is good for us and embrace what isn't so great for us, right? And so just this 2 days ago, my beloved and I went to see this production on Broadway called Hell's Kitchen. It was largely tied to the musical artist Alicia Keys. Fantastic production, by the way. If you get a chance to see it, I highly encourage it. Without giving away the story, there is a point where her mother had a concern, and even this gentleman had a concern that she was attracted to this guy for all of the wrong reasons, for the what she saw as what we would generally consider toxic aspects of him. Now, the reality is that he wasn't necessarily as he seemed, and I won't give any further details on that. But there are a lot of ways in which you and I, as human beings, actually end up operating in a way that goes against our own best interest. There are plenty of people that I interact with that have been finding significant frustration with people who they can easily identify as making decisions that have gone against their own best interest. Okay, I'm not going to get into the details of that right now, but this is something that all of us do in one way or another. In one way or another, all of us have ways in which we don't operate necessarily in alignment with that which is going to be for our highest and best good. Okay. So many years ago, when I was blessed to study with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Cam Ewan, 35th generation Shaolin master, I realized, and I'm so thankful that my eyes were open to this through my exposure to him, that all of the sicknesses and diseases that human beings experience, are so far beneath the surface. We look at them on a surface level, but they're so far beneath the surface. They're so far beneath the surface, and what ends up happening is that we end up focusing on the surface level thing, and we miss what the root cause of a situation is. And the only way to bring real healing, real transformation, or just real change, period, is by addressing what's beneath the surface, what's the root cause of the situation, whatever that is, whether that's something that's manifesting in our body temple as a form of sickness or disease, or whether it's our financial situation or what's going on with us relationally or in our job, or whatever the case might be. It's all a function of some stuff that is going on deeper down inside. And so in that sense, it seems there may be situations where trains are continuously going by. Um, Apologies for that. Uh, it's interesting because they were doing that so much when coming out here to set up. So hopefully you can hear beyond all the noise of the train. So let's begin to get into just real quickly. I'll touch on something real quickly, and then we'll get into the actual healing. Okay. So real quickly, I want to say to you that all of the pain and all of the problems that you're experiencing in your life are something different than what typically might meet the eye. And you perhaps have had situations at times in your life where you may have gone through some difficulties. And perhaps as a function of those difficulties and those painful situations and disappointments that you faced, you might have gotten the idea that God wasn't here for you, that God wasn't there for you. You might have gotten the idea that God is not all powerful or God is not all loving. You might be a person who you take responsibility for the circumstances and situations that take place in your life, but not necessarily doing so from a healthy position, and maybe casting blame on yourself, saying that you should have known better, or it's all your fault that you're in the situation that you're in. And while there is some truth to the fact that you are an incredibly powerful being who has the ability to manifest wonderful things in your life, as well as the ability to manifest things that aren't quite so pleasantly experienced, it is a truth that you are loved in a way that I can't even begin to describe in words. I don't have the words to really clothe in language the really deep love that is available for you, the really deep love that's available for all of us. In every moment, God is wanting your highest and best good to unfold for you. And you might ask yourself, well, if God wants this for me, why isn't it happening? And the reason that it may not be happening is because there may be aspects where in your body or your mind, in this particular case, I'm going to say where your mind may be betraying you or maybe betraying your highest and best good. And how does it come to betray your highest and best good? You come to betray your own highest and best good from tricks that you've bought into, wrong voices that you've listened to and bought into. The fact of the matter is that there are things called parasites in this world. And what is a parasite? A parasite is something that needs a host to live off of, to feed off of. It doesn't give a rough rat's behind about you or your well-being. It only cares about it selfishly cares about itself and what its own egoic needs are. Okay? And the fact that it actually brings you absolutely no good whatsoever and only takes from you, that doesn't matter to the parasite at all. That is the nature of a parasite, whether we're talking about cancer or whether we're talking about some type of parasitic infection, or whether we're talking about something like an energy vampire that comes in and life force out of you just for their own and their benefit without regard to how it might affect you, particularly how it might negatively affect you. And so there are ways in which, I've mentioned this before. People who have like an addiction to sugar, it's not frequently isn't you that wants the sugar. And that's why if you get away from the sugar for a while, you won't really have that desire for it because it's not really you that wants the sugar. It's the parasites in your body that are craving the sugar and making you think that you're the one that wants it, when it's really just the desire of parasites that don't have your best interest in mind. Now, these parasites can manifest in terms of your physical body temple. They can manifest in terms of power hungry politicians or money hungry corporations. They can manifest in the context of narcissistic uh, people, they can manifest in a lot of different ways. All right. And so, what we need to do is find a way to be free of these parasites and the programming that we've allowed into our subconscious mind that has then allowed us to be in a situation where our mind is betraying ourselves. And by the way, if you do have a condition like lupus or some other autoimmune deficiency, where or some type of autoimmune disorder of some sort, then it is really a function of how your mind is operating in that situation as well. Okay? Your mind is a very, very powerful thing. And so we want to free the mind from the things that are keeping it locked into the box and that would have you betraying your own highest and best good. So we're going to start with a prayer and then we're going to get into the healing. And by the way, for whoever's out there today, from my heart to yours, I'm sending a lot of love your way and have compassion for you in whatever your situation might be. Wherever you are, it is not you. Commend you for doing something about it by showing up here. So we're going to go ahead and start with a prayer and then we'll get into the healing. God, I know you to be a healer. I know you to be the lover of our souls. And I know you want to see us experiencing in our lives our highest and best good. And I know that in your infinite wisdom, you don't see fit to strip from us our own free will, our will to think how we think, our will to choose how we choose. But I am deeply grateful that you are a healer in each and everything that could ever torment or give us trouble. And I'm deeply gratified by and humbled by the fact that you bless me to be able to demonstrate you as a healer through the union that we share through your Holy Spirit and the power of your pure love. And so at this time, I call forth your healing and demonstrate you as a healer on the behalf of, if this is you, please state your name either out loud or silently. Neutralizing the root cause of the ways in which our bodies or our mind might betray our own interest, our own good, from the point of the root cause and the entire energy field of every strand of DNA in every cell of our bodies, and transmuting that into and replacing it with a return to innocence, a reawakening of the truth about ourselves, of our original perfect pure selves, a divine alignment and reconfiguration of the subtlest levels of our psyche back to the divine blueprint by which you divinely designed us, and a sense of glee and joy and utter bliss for being able to see and bear witness to the miracle working nature that has been manifested in our lives on today and continues to go forth now, henceforth, and forevermore. And I bear witness to our wholeness on this date and in this time and space called now. Thank you. Thank you, God, for this gift of your divine love. It is done. It is done. It is done. All right. And so, as I hear sirens blazing in the background, I want to address the ways in which we might feel anxious, in the ways in which we might feel internally anxious and feel like we always have to be on the defensive. All right. So I'm going to purify that through the power of God's pure love. What are the things that cause us to feel like we always need to be on the defensive? Because there have been unresolved traumas that we've experienced in our lifetime. And so we want to delete from the point of the causal root and transmute those unresolved karmas, transmute them into photons of light and into increased sense of enlightenment and awareness about the why and the wherefores of things that we've experienced in life, and how we can transform and transmute those things into extremely potently empowering things that we can actually use as building blocks for really being able to take control of our lives, in the sense of being able to rise above all of the things that have stood between us and our highest and best good. To be able to make those things that have served as the enemy of our best good, make those things our stepping stools, rise above them, and ascend into the state of joy and bliss and peace and divine well-being that is our birthright. Okay. Thank you, God, for that. All right. I want to address internal confusion. Where does internal confusion come from? It comes from this. The truth is that there is only one power and one presence operating in the universe, and that could be operating in your life, and that's God, the good, the omnipotent. The confusion comes in believing that there's some other force that is operating for your bad. Okay? And so we want to actually address the aspect of us that wants to edge God out. There's an aspect within our psyche that wants to edge God out and believe that there's something other than good. And the fact of the matter is, we can experience something other than good because we are so powerful. We're divinely designed to be so powerful that we can call forth into our life whatever it is that we choose, including feeling bad, including feeling sick, including not so desirous experiences. Okay. Now, the enemy of your soul doesn't want you to know how powerful you are. The part of you that wants to edge God out doesn't want you to know how powerful you are. It wants you to sit in victimhood. It wants you to dwell in a space of anger and hostility. It wants you to shrink and be less than who it is that you are. Okay. And that's an aspect within your own being. It's within your own consciousness. It's okay that you've had that operating within your consciousness. And it's also okay for you to rise above that and let that go. All right? So let's strengthen all of us to be able to rise above the lower aspects of our beingness that want us to play small, and that would have us not content, but complacent to play the victim. All right, so we want to transmute that and strengthen us and empower us to play the role of the victor. And the victor isn't. I'm from Michigan. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and the University of Michigan. Their fight song is "Hail to the Victors," and you and I were divinely designed to be victorious. We were designed to be the victors, not victors over other people. Victors to have victory over the aspects within ourselves, within our own minds, where we actually sabotage ourselves, where we allow our minds to betray our own best good. And when your mind betrays your own best good, the body may have ways in which it will outpicture that. And we may see that manifesting in different areas of our bodies. Okay? All right. And so this person that reached out to me had was dealing with a form of lupus that actually attacks the skin. The skin happens to be the largest organ in the body, and it's the most surface level organ of the body. Okay. And how many ways do we actually get upset about the thing that's operating on the surface and not really focus the attention where it needs to be. Okay. And it's really all part of a smoke and mirrors game that we play. Okay. We get distracted by what's going on over here when with the real problem is over here or down here. Okay. And so let's let's address let's address our spiritual attention deficit. Okay. I'm going to address our spiritual attention deficit. Ways in which we're not paying attention spiritually and get distracted by things that take us off our path. Or ways wherein we might feel bored with the spiritual things or the more important things that are actually going to elevate us in life. Okay. And focus our attention on the stuff that just lowers our vibration and has us feeling these sucky feelings that we don't really want to have, but don't always know how to not have. Right? We don't generally wake up in the morning feeling like we want to have a bad day. Nobody does that. But sometimes we don't know how to feel differently than how it is that we're feeling. Okay. And how it is that we're feeling is based on deeper thoughts that are going on. So our feelings are connected with what our deeper level thinking is on a matter. When I say deeper level, I don't mean that we're having deep thoughts necessarily, but thoughts that are within our subconscious mind, within our subconscious thinking. Okay. And so, as it relates to that, let's actually bring and infuse copious amounts of love and light into your subconscious mind. Okay. All right. I want to infuse copious amounts of love, pure love, and divine light into your subconscious mind. Now, there's some aspects within your subconscious mind where you've actually come to be familiar with I just put it this way, you've come to be familiar with the darkness. All right. And so on a certain level, although it doesn't feel good, it feels comfortable. It feels familiar to have these dark thoughts going on inside of you. And I'm not saying this from a judgmental standpoint. I'm just saying it from the standpoint of thoughts that aren't exemplifying that which is of the light. Darkness isn't really a thing unto itself. It's just the absence of light, which is why you don't have to fight the darkness. All you need to do is bring in the presence of the light. And so I want to I'm going to actually ask you to do something right now. I'm going to ask you to go within yourself for a moment. And I'm going to ask you to do a little internal investigation and try to find some place within yourself where there might be some darkness. Some place that you might have tucked away. Maybe it was a pain from something that you experienced in your childhood. Maybe it was some other life experience, maybe some situation where there was something that was painful and you didn't really want to deal with, so you just kind of tucked it away. And you tucked it away, but it still comes out in different areas of your life. And sometimes people might think that you're crazy or wonder what's going on with you, think that you're overreacting over a situation that might be unfolding in a present moment, but they're not necessarily recognizing that this is serving as a trigger for some deep thing that had happened previously in your life that hadn't been resolved. All right. I want you again to invite you to go and try to find that place within yourself. And we're not going to have you dwell there, but I do want to invite you to identify it as best you can. And if there's a place in your physical body where you're feeling some weird tinge or some discomfort, it's an indication that that's a place that this unresolved thing might be hiding or might be storing itself within the cells of your body, that particular area of your body. And once you kind of identify that particular thing or that kind of space in your body, what I then want to encourage you to do is invite love into that space. To invite pure, unconditional love into that space. Into the space where the pain is, where the hurt is, where the darkness is. To invite pure, unconditional love into that space. And to invite pure, loving light into that space. There's some things that we do in secret because we feel ashamed about them. There's some things that we don't even acknowledge to ourselves or even to God that we don't necessarily feel so great about. And so that ends up manifesting as a darkness in our lives. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just blocked energy, which ends up blocking us from experiencing our highest and best good. All right, and so we want to bring the light of God's love into that space. And newsflash, you not welcoming the light of God's love into that place doesn't cause God to not know about it. There's nothing that's hidden to God. We might not want to acknowledge it within ourselves, and we might feel ashamed to, possibly because of some religious trauma. So let's address some religious trauma. Bringing the light of God's actual pure unconditional love into the space where that religious trauma unfolded. Forgiving those who were responsible for our religious trauma. And because we don't want to focus our energy and our attention in what actually isn't serving our highest and best good, we want to give our energy to what actually supports our highest and best good. Okay. And so allowing ourselves to be open and receptive to the beauty of life unfolding on the screen of our lives. Okay. I want to strengthen us all for that. And strengthen our sense of worthiness of it. Not our sense of entitlement, but our sense of worthiness. Okay. All right. And now I want to address for a moment, I want to address our psychological gullibility. It's not actually coming up as an issue. Our internal gullibility. Okay. I want to address our internal gullibility. So that we don't just fall for the okey doke, but we have ears, spiritual and physical ears, that are highly attuned to decipher truth. Okay. No matter what lie might be told, or no matter how well someone might be presenting, but that we might be able to rightly discern what is true and what is not. And that we will gravitate towards what is true, strengthen us to be able to gravitate towards what is true and what is right, and to stand for what is true and what is right. Even if we're found to be standing in a smaller crowd than what might be moving in a different direction. Okay? All right. And so for that, let's address our levels of psychological cowardice and transmute that psychological cowardice into spiritual empowerment. Into spiritual empowerment and feeling spiritually emboldened to stand up for love and what is good and what is supportive of the highest and best good of humanity. and the highest and best good of you as an individual and everyone involved. Okay. All right. And so now I want to address actually um, any sense of righteous indignation that we might have. Okay. Or any type of indignation at all that we might experience, where we feel like we've got to fight with and against others. Okay. Because the people that you're experiencing problems with aren't really the problem. It's the energy that you're participating in and that you're participating with that is the problem. And it's not just the energy in that person, it's actually, hopefully, bringing your awareness to the energy that is operating in you that might not be supporting your highest and best. Not somebody else. And if you can get it resolved in you, then it won't show up in others. All right. Again, apologies for the loudness of the train going by. All right. Okay. Now let's take a look at for whatever reason what's coming up is slavery, the ugliness of slavery. I know that we're in a political environment right now in the United States where that's almost being treated like a taboo thing because it's something that some of us feel very uncomfortable with. But I want to address a type of spiritual slavery that most of us find ourselves in, independent of what one's ethnicity or racial identification might be. All right. And strengthen us to be freedom bound. When I say freedom bound, I don't mean bound and free, somewhat bound and somewhat free. What I mean is um, where that's our journey, that's our destination, that's where we are intent on going, and actually to strengthen us to experience ourselves being. The most dangerous form of bondage is when you actually think you're free, but you're not. And that's what happens for most of us in a lot of ways. We think that we're making decisions, that we are making decisions, and it's really just the parasites that were making the decisions for us. Okay. All right. So again, let's strengthen us to be able to disassociate from that aspect that seeks to harm us and reassociate ourselves with the lover of our soul, the infinite source of good, and that aspect within us that is reflective of that. I want to strengthen us to operate from that space. Wholeheartedly act from that space. And to be gentle with ourselves in situations where we might slip up or might not be acting from that space in a particular moment. I have no idea, by the way, what time it is right now. We'll go a few more minutes and then and then we'll wrap it up. What I do want to say here, real quickly, though, is if you've got a health condition, and it may not be something that you're personally dealing with. One of the things blew my mind, was how my teachers seemed to have known what the root cause of every sickness and disease was and how to address it. And it was always something beyond just what met the eye, beyond what was just on the surface. And so if you've got or know of or you care about somebody who's dealing with a circumstance or situation or condition, physical health or otherwise, and you'd like me to address it either in a short video or in a Sunday Hope and Healing session. If you're on Facebook, then I encourage you to just drop it in the comments during the live broadcast. If you're watching on YouTube, it doesn't quite work the same way on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, what I'd like to encourage you to do is actually, after the live broadcast is played, to comment on the playback, because I won't see the comments after the video is ended. I won't see the comments in the broadcast. Okay. All right. So let's address clarification of what the real battle is and what the real weapons that we're designed to fight with are. Sometimes we want to fight with this thing right here by cussing people out and giving them a piece of our mind. And it is important to establish healthy boundaries. I'm all for that. But we don't always need to, go crazy on folks necessarily. Because it really isn't them, it's the issue that we're dealing with. What it is that we're really dealing with, or maybe what it is that we're needing to deal with, maybe that's better put, is whatever is going on inside of us. Okay? And so I want to strengthen us to be committed to addressing the inside job. There's a saying that if we address the enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. Okay. All right. And so even beyond that, if we can awaken to the fact that we are divinely protected, if we can truly awaken to the fact that we really are divinely protected, the only thing that actually keeps us from experiencing ourselves as being divinely protected is the power of our own mind to project thoughts that we're not, that we're in danger, that we're unsafe. That if we don't do this ego-based stuff, that we're going to be in a world of trouble. Okay, want to actually transmute that, replace that with truly surrendering our stuff to God and putting it in the hands of the source of all power, the source of all healing, and diligently doing only the part, but only doing the part that we specifically are spiritually called to do. And stripping the ego of its primary voice. Okay. I'm not even saying don't let the ego have a voice, but it no longer gets the primary voice. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I want to do 2 more corrections, and then we're going to close it down for today. All right. One of the things I want to do right now is I want to strengthen our spiritual armor. I want to strengthen our spiritual armor so that we have actually a force field around us that allows that which would seek to do us harm, this force field around us can, be a protective barrier, which is different from a wall we might put up around our heart. A spiritual barrier that quenches all of the darts and arrows and bullets that are shot in our direction with the intent of causing us harm. Okay. And I want to strengthen us to be able to call forth and bring forth spiritual truth that we can use to attack that which would seek to do us harm, and ultimately defeat that which would seek to do us harm. I want to strengthen us for that. Clear out our spiritual ears so that we can hear with a sense of discernment, like I mentioned before. Clarify our spiritual eyes, remove the spiritual cataracts from our vision, and actually remove the the filters on our perspective to be able to actually allow us to see clearly what is truth. And the real truth is always going to be encouraging and enlightening, even though that we might first see where we had been deceived, and that might make us angry. When we see the greater truth beyond that, it becomes easier to let that go, and we can just dwell in bliss and peace. All right. So I want to strengthen all of us for that. Divine alignment with peace and balance and harmony and love, and with their sense of worthiness to experience all of that. God, I'm so thankful for the time that I got to share with the people who've tuned in today, for the healing that's been able to go forth, for the restoration to wholeness, and for this, God, give you honor and glory, and celebrate not just that you have miracle working power at your proverbial fingertips, but that you have a heart to call us back to the truth according to which you designed us, and that you are ever seeking ways to shower us with love and to bring us into an experience of being and feeling joyfully blissful and profoundly empowered. Thank you so much for these and all other blessings. Ashe and Amen. Okay, beloved. Again, I'm very thankful for the time that we shared together today. I have no idea what the sound quality was like. I've got this fuzzy looking little microphone thingy on specifically to drown out the wind blowing. The wind's been blowing. I don't know if you've picked that up or not, because I don't think this mic was actually working. But anyway, we've been here today, and it's been a pleasure to offer what support we've been blessed to be able to offer today. Again, if you have a question, or if there is a particular type of health concern or condition that you'd like for me to address, whether it's a condition that you're directly dealing with or not, please mention it in the comments. If you are interested in being able to tap into this healing power that is this methodology referred to as Transcending the Matrix, reach out to me at either Transcending the Matrix at on Instagram, Royce Fletcher Thomason on Instagram, or on Facebook. And I'll be happy to share with you what I have found to be profoundly empowering for me, and I've seen to be profoundly empowering for others as well. Anyway, that wraps us up for today. And so as we continue to endeavor to enter into the sustainable state of supreme satisfaction, until we meet again, I bid you adieu with peace and love. Catch you next time.